We are going to continue exactly where we left off. Page 114a, Kuf Yud Daled Aleph. Yesterday we were explaining about what happens at night when our soul goes up to the heavens. Then it has to go recharge. It has to go give an account. In some cases it will be subpoenaed to other court cases to testify for or against. At night you're very, very busy. Told you already, you have to travel at night with a valid passport to go up to Shamayim. So, because we're going to different domains, oy vavoy, maybe if the passports are gone, you can't go up to Shamayim. So, but nevertheless, not to make a joke of a situation, but when I go up to Shamayim, I am going to a different realm, and I need to go with some type of a spiritual document that will take me to the next step. Briefly, what happens when I go at night, we spoke about it many times. First of all, I have to be recharged. My soul has a battery, a spiritual battery that gets emptied, and at the end of the day I will be physically tired, not because I worked hard, because the physical body can go for 3-4 days. Spiritually, my energy is down. What will be number one cause of my energy to go down is sinning. If a person doesn't sin at all, then he don't need to go really to sleep. And where do we see that? Look at all the greatest tzaddikim in our generations, in our history. They never slept. The Arizal, you think, slept. He used to put his head down, 1 minute, head up, that's it. Done. And many great tzaddikim, you don't have to go 500 years back. Even tzaddikim in our generation. The more the person is full of kedusha, then he's not losing energy. When do you start losing energy? Spiritual energy is when you sin. Even if you do one sin, then all the air comes out. You don't hear the air come out. But you can wake up in the morning, say Bechukotai Shachar, go to the mikveh, pay shacharit, put tefillin, put tzitzit, learn Torah. 3 hours, you are a nuclear reactor of energy. Then you just go out of the shul. All it takes is 3 seconds to say one sentence of Lashon Hara, all this energy went out. And not that I'm saying that we're humans at the end of the day, but nevertheless, that's the cause of loss of energy, spiritual energy. So at the end of the night, I need to get charged and I replenish. That's why I mentioned not once and not twice. You wake up in the morning and you're full of energy, you know your soul went to the right place at night. You wake up in the morning and you feel like a shmate, then you know that your soul didn't get to the right place at night, so it didn't get replenished. Needless to say, that we also know the soul goes up at night, it needs to write a journal. And it writes precisely like in the military. At 0700 I woke up. At 0701 I said Modeh Ani. And the soul will write everything till the last detail. Every lie, every theft, every look, every thought. Why? So after 120 years when the soul goes up to Shamayim, they come to the soul with a book and say, this is what you wrote the last 80 years. So you testify against yourself. How do you delete the details from this book? Is you do tshuva. And you erase details from this book and it never existed. And needless to say, like I said, you will be subpoenaed to court cases in the world above, either against the soul or for the soul, and the prosecution or the defense will subpoena you to give a testimony. So at night we're very, very busy. All this can be done in 1 minute, by the way, because in Shamayim there's no really time. But nevertheless, that's one of the many reasons why we go to sleep. I told you already a few times that I think sleeping is a waste of time. If we would be able to somehow plug my finger into the wall and do everything like that, it would save beds, save sheets, laundry, and all the rest that comes at night. Who needs this headache? Now, of course, there's many other reasons why we go to sleep. One very dominating part of why we go to sleep is all the godly sparks that I was able to refine that day. I take them up with me that night. Every piece of food that I ate and I said a bracha, every act that I did, I sift through godly sparks. And I'm gathering all these godly sparks, and at night I'm able to elevate them. And again, if I go up to the right place. So what will secure my passage going up? So we said yesterday, Kriyat Shema Lamita. Why? Because when I go up the first level, will stand the immigration officers of the world above. These are these Malachi Kabbalah that we talked about. Specifically, we mentioned one of them and her crew. And if I don't have the right documents, I will not go through the selection, then I don't go up. Then what happens at night, I'm hanging out in the lounge. I don't know if you ever went to a country and the immigration didn't let you in. Sit here and wait, sir, till we'll figure out what to do with you. And sometimes they kick you in your tuchus and they put a stamp on your passport, get out of here. And sometimes you're lucky and they let you in. Same thing here. There's a whole line of defense in the world above. Why are we learning that? Because we learned yesterday in the Parashat Bechukotai that the Kadosh Baruch Hu says, if you listen to what I tell you, im bechukotai telechu, if you follow my rules, umitzvotai tishmeru, and my mitzvot you're going to guard, v'natati gishmechem beitam, I will give you all that you need, all the blessings. And one of the blessings is that lo ta'avor cherev be'artzecha, a sword will not cross through your land, meaning nobody's going to come and attack you. V'yishavtem levetach, you're going to sit quietly, no worries, no problems. An evil animal will not go into your land. Now this is all physically, but we're explaining the mystical part of it. So this chaya, this animal we're talking about, that's the klipa that will stop you in the world of going, on the world above. So how do you stop that? You say Kriyat Shema Lamita. One of the many reasons, and needless to say, you want to minimize sins. That's where we spoke about before, about God-fearing, about being Yirei Shamayim. Nevertheless, so we're going to continue where we left off. We're in the middle of page 114a. Before we're going to continue in the Zohar, we're just going to bring a commentary that says, in the tractate Psachim, page 112, it says as follows, Zelo shono, Tanya, we have learned, Lo yatsa yechidi balayla, one should not go out by himself at night, Lo belelei reviyot, velo belelei shabbatot, any type of night you don't want to go out by yourself. Why? Because this klipa that we didn't want to mention her name, we wrote it down as Aleph Gimel Reish Taf. I'm sure you heard the name. Maybe now when I'm spelling it to write it down, it doesn't sound so familiar. So the name starts with Agra and then finishes with a Taf. And her mother is Machla and then ends with a Taf. I'm sure you heard the name. Nevertheless, she has 18,000 battalions of Malachi Kabbalah, of angels, of destructive angels. And they come at night, and each one of these angels have permissions to do damage for himself. And they're the line of defense. Now we continue in the Zohar, and it says as follows, Rabbi Abba says, Lichora kashe. This is not so clear to in the beginning when you read it, seemingly, because technically it should have said first, Lo ta'avor cherev ba'artzechem, a sword should not cross your land. Why? Because it's more common than a bad animal. So he says that doesn't make sense. It should be first a sword should not pass in your land, then a bad animal should not pass in your land. That's why he says, ukmahu. I mean, we already saw some type of biur, an explanation for that by our sages in the tractate Ta'anit, page 22b. And it says as follows, Da'afilu cherev shel shalom, even a sword of peace will not go through your land. Where do you see a sword of peace? So imagine now, the American government, they want to attack Iran. And they need to park their jets in different places. They have jets parked in Israel, jets parked in, I don't know where, Turkey or whatever they park them. I don't know. I mean, I know, but it's not so important at this point. But they're not attacking me. I'm just putting my jets there. I'm putting my vessels, my army stuff there. I'm not attacking from you, and I'm not attacking you. This is where a sword of peace is coming through your land. It says in the Torah, even that is not going to cross through your land. But nevertheless, where do we see, this is just now in our days, but we also can look in the past, where do we see in the past that a sword of peace did not cross in our land? This can be found, Kagon Paro Necho. If you go to the book of Divrei Hayamim, I believe in Israel it's called Chronicles. It has Chronicles A, Chronicles B. If you go to Chronicles B, specifically in chapter 35, we're talking about the king of Mitzrayim, that his name was Necho, and he wanted to pass through the land of Israel to fight a certain king called Karkamish. And he wanted to fight him on the river that is called Prat. And at the time was a king in Eretz Israel, his name was Yoshiyahu, and Yoshiyahu said, no, sorry, not letting you pass. He says, but I'm not coming to attack you. I'm going north to attack somebody else. No. Yoshiyahu says, I'm not letting you go through my land. So he says as follows, and this can be found, like I told you, in Chronicles B, page 35. After he stopped him, it says as follows, Aval. Now let's explain, what does it mean? Ki ma shekatuv, it says in the script, V'cherev lo ta'avor, a sword should not pass through your land. Da si'ata dile. This is the camp of this person that wants to go through the land. Ki hem shluchei aba'im mitzida. Who are we talking here? We're talking about this klipa. And she wants to cross through the land, but he doesn't let him come through. Sometimes the klipa knows how to control a person and send the person to do something bad. Nevertheless, it says here, hem bnei adam, sometimes there are humans who are memunim, they are in charge of lachriv, to destroy, v'lashmid, to completely abolish. Therefore, first it started by Veishbateti chayara. First, let me uproot the bad animal. Who's the bad animal? That's the klipa we were talking about. And that's the klipa itself. Why? That she's not going to have any control of the land. After that, we can add, even passing physically in your land, that also will not going to affect you. Even a sword of other nations will not cross through your land. Even a person that is armed will not come and hurt you in any other way. So here we're looking here at the story that happened at the book of Divrei Yamim. That's talking about a king, Necho, that he wanted to cross the land of Israel, to go to attack in the north. And Yoshiyahu told him, I'm not letting you going through. So this is the physical story. Here we're talking about that sometimes this klipa, it wants to cross through your domain to hurt another person. No, I don't want you even coming close to me. So what does the klipa sometimes do? It will possess or control another person to do evil things. I mean, you don't have to be so shocked when I'm saying things. Look at 8 years ago, there was a klipa dressed in Hitler Yimach Shmo. Look what he did, destroyed half the world. So nevertheless, here it's also talking that even a person that is coming to do something evil, then you're not going to be hurt. How many times people come to do evil things to you? Probably much more than what you think. But sometimes you get affected from that. And sometimes you say, how am I getting this person off me? Well, I didn't do anything to this person. Why is he attacking me? Why is he going against me? Why is he slandering my name? Why is he going and... First of all, the Kadosh Baruch Hu is allowing to any person to do what they do. Sometimes to you it seems like something bad. It's actually that person is helping you. But nevertheless, many times somebody does something bad to you. They take you to court, they bother you, they put guilt on you, whatever it is. And you don't know what does the person want from? How do I get them off me? So our sages added a piece of our prayer at the end of Shmona Esrei, 3 times a day when you pray. Look at the last paragraph of the prayer. It's an additional part of the prayer. We say Yehi L'Ratzon. There's 2 Yehi Ratzon. And there's a part that we say, we ask Hashem to open my heart, P'tach libi b'toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha tirdof nafshi. Open my heart with your Torah, so my soul will want to pursue your mitzvot. Then we add something very interesting that I think most people zoom so fast, they want to finish already the prayer, they don't even noticing what they're saying. Open the Siddur and you'll see that it says, V'chol hakamim alai le'ra'a, me'era afer atzatam. All these ones who are coming against me, I want you to right away, so to say, confuse their desire. And in some of the Sephardi Siddurim, we would add another paragraph that says, Yukmotz lifnei ruach u'malach Hashem doche. They should be like a speck of dust in the wind. And the angel of Hashem will repel them. And then again, in some of the Sephardi Siddurim, it will also say, Kabel rinat amcha sagvenu tarenu nora, piece of the ana bekoach. There's a lot of Kabbalistic meanings to that. But if somebody is bothering you in any type of a way, then say this paragraph in a lot of kavanah. וכל הקמים עליי לרעה, anyone who's coming against me, move them away from me. I don't need this headache. Let them talk, let them do whatever they want. It doesn't have to affect me. That's what we spoke about before when we talked about the Ain Hara, remember? And I told you, Ain Hara can affect you if you have sins. If you have sins, the Ain Hara will affect you. But if I'm good and I'm doing the good in the eyes of Hashem, then the dogs can bark as much as they want. They're not going to affect me in any way. I'm not going to be affected by somebody else's cruelty or evil. No, why should I be affected? If I do sins, that's a whole different thing. If I fight the same level, then I will get dirty myself. The Baal HaTanya says in the book of Tanya, you wrestle somebody dirty, you'll get dirty yourself. So sometimes you want to go down to the level of the person who's slandering you, lying, and going against you in many different ways. Sometimes it's inviting to say, oh yeah, you say this about me, let me say to the world what I have to say about you. Maybe I can go now and give you some problems. The Kadosh Baruch Hu, deal with it. Don't go to somebody else's level. So here he's talking about the same thing. Sometimes there's a power of impurity that will try to go against you. For whatever reason right now. We said yesterday it can be from a sin, it can be many other reasons. Sometimes there's also going to be a person that wants to go against you. But nevertheless, im bechukotai telechu, you go in my path, don't worry, cherev lo ta'avor be'artzecha. The sword, anything evil, will not come against you. And if something bad has to happen, then that's what the Kadosh Baruch Hu wants. But you have to also give space to the Kadosh Baruch Hu to say, I know you're not going to do anything against me. Now he continues and he says, Veda darish Yoshiyahu Malka. Now, then we have the verse that we're talking about, the King Yoshiyahu, and he explains it. Who explains it? Our sages explain it in the tractate Ta'anit, as I said before. Shechashav sheYisrael tzadikim kamohu. The King Yoshiyahu was a tzaddik. He thought everybody's tzaddikim. He was probably in such a high level. He says, well, everybody's tzaddikim. Why would somebody sin? So he thought everybody's tzaddikim like him. V'yekuyam bahem ma shekatuv, and it will also apply to them. Cherev lo ta'avor be'artzecha. A sword will not pass through the land. So he says, oh, if I'm a tzaddik, everybody's tzaddikim. Oh, so he stops this Necho, this king of Egypt, Paro, to go through the land of Israel with his soldiers. Aval, there was a big problem in that generation. Israel lo hayu tzaddikim. Now there was a generation of a lot of sins. Lachen neherag Yoshiyahu. So that cost Yoshiyahu his life. Because he thought that everybody's tzaddikim, righteous men like him. So he says, okay, we're not going to have a problem. A sword will not come through my land. Dehu atpas bechovayhu d'Israel. He got punished, so to say, or he got affected by the sins of the rest of the Jews. He was a tzaddik, but nevertheless, he got affected. And where do we know that he got affected? This you can find in the book of Eicha. Kama dichtiv, as it says, Ruach apenu, Meshiach Hashem nilkad b'shchitotam. The translation is the breath of our nostrils. The Lord anointed, who was at the time Mashiach, was captured in their sins, so in their pits. So they were doing sins, he got punished. He got affected by that. Sometimes this, unfortunately, that's where you see that a person can be righteous, but the sins of the nation will affect that person. So now he says, as he continues and says as follows, Ha-cha'it li-istakla. Now I have to meditate and to observe what's going on here. Dehatnan, we already learned. This is in the tractate called Archin, page 17. I resha de'ama, the head, even if the head of the nation, hutav, he's good, kol ama, the whole nation, mishtezvan begineh, then all the nation will be saved because of him. Just imagine if the head of the leader of the nation is good, everybody will be saved in his begineh, in his merit. Veiresha de'ama lo itkashar. If the head of the nation is not kosher, is not good or honest, kol ama at itfasan bechoveh. All the nation will be affected in his sin. Veha Yoshiyahu resha dechashra hava. But here we see that Yoshiyahu was a kosher leader. He was honest, he was straight. Ve'ovadoi mitkashran. And his actions were kosher. He didn't do any sins. He had a lot of Torah. He had a lot of Yirat Shamayim. He made the nation do tshuva. That's a real leader. So if this is the case, Amai itpas bechovai hon Israel. How come he got affected by the sins of the nation of Israel? That doesn't fit well with what we have learned in the tractate Archin. So he answers, Ela al dela haimin Yirmiyahu. You know why? Because he didn't believe in what the prophet Yirmiyahu told him. She'amar lo she'adayin yesh biYisrael ovdei avodah zara. He was the king, but there was a prophet, Jeremiah, Yirmiyahu, come and told him, don't be so happy with the nation. There's still idol worshippers in the nation. So he didn't listen to the prophet. Vela kafit lahu Israel. Now, if he would believe the prophet, he would be strong hand, make tshuva. But he didn't listen to the prophet, so he didn't apply the strong hand to make everybody do tshuva. Lo kafit lahu b'Yisrael. He wasn't forcing them. Velo chashit lahu Israel. He also was like judging everybody too good. Yeah, but you have some idolatries here. Don't give them so much respect. Dechashiv dechulhu zakei kvate. He thought that everybody's tzaddikim like he is. He had a good eye. He says, no, everybody's tzaddikim. But nevertheless, comes a prophet and tells him, no, you're looking at it with your physical eyes. I'm telling you, there are people who are idolatries there and making idolatry. Hava amar le Yirmiyahu. Yirmiyahu told him, prove them. You know, a good leader is not the one who tells you, guys, you're doing great. You are amazing. That's not a good leader. A good leader tells them, guys, you are off the derech. You're lying, you're slandering, you're cursing, you're stealing, you're taking advantage of it. That's a good leader. If somebody tells you how amazing you are, I don't want that as a leader. My rabbi, I don't talk to him often because he always tells me how bad I am. So why would I want to call him so often? Every time I call him, he tells me how much I have to grow. I told you already, when I became observant, I thought that he's going to be the one who's like building me up. Every time I would come, he would crush me, made me look like this big. That's a good rabbi that comes and tells you how much you're bad, not how good you are. Nevertheless, Yirmiyahu told him, prove them. Prove the nation. He didn't believe in him. Therefore, he fell and failed because of their sins. More than that, why did he die? The Sihara, the moon, Hava Ma'ich Nehora, the light of the moon was diminished, and it went and became smaller and smaller and smaller till there was barely any light. This is, of course, the more metaphorical part. We're not talking about the moon was running out of voltage. But nevertheless, what does it say here? Et enei Tzidkiyahu iver. The eyes of Tzidkiyahu went and became weaker and weaker and weaker till he became blind. Meaning, שכבר היה קרוב לחורבן בית המקדש. It was very, very close to the destruction of the temple. At the time of Yoshiyahu, was very, very close to the destruction. שאז נחשכו עיניהם של ישראל. The Ramak says that when it's talking that the light of the moon diminished, the eyes of the nation of Israel became darker. You know, it becomes darker, you don't see. And the sins became more and more, and that brought the destruction of Beit HaMikdash. As it's explained in Parashat Yitro, page 85, this is the reference in the Zohar. What does it say? Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon, Haya HaMelech HaChameshesre me'Avraham Avinu. He was 15th in line after Avraham Avinu as a king. Vailach, first Avraham, count 15, comes Shlomo HaMelech. ואז הייתה המלכות בתכלית שלמותה. I told you already when Shlomo HaMelech was the peak of any type of king that we ever had. That's why at the time of Shlomo HaMelech, sorry about this. That's why at the time of Shlomo HaMelech, the Beit HaMikdash was built, and not any other king. Technically, why didn't any other king build it? Shlomo HaMelech reached the peak, so to say, of the highest level of Malchut. That's also why his name is Shlomo. He was able to bring peace to the world. Not only peace, Shalem means whole. Shlomo, Shalem, same root. So he brought Shlemut into the world. So he was able to build Beit HaMikdash. Why? Because the Beit HaMikdash is not for us. Beit HaMikdash is the house of the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah has where to dwell. Right? וצדקיהו, שהיה המלך אחר יאשיהו. This is the king that came after יאשיהו. היה המלך ה-30 לאברהם אבינו. He was 30 in line after אברהם אבינו. וכאילו הוא כבר בסוף החודש, what's 30? It's the end of the month. You know when you see the moon the most? On the 15th day, on Tetvav. Shlomo HaMelech was on the 15th king. So the moon was the most shining. Shalem. Sihara beshlumata. The moon was completely full, a lot of light. Tzidkiyahu was number 30. What do you see of the moon on the 30th day? Nisht. Nothing. You don't see nothing. This big. You know what you see? The banana. The little moon, the little line. That's what you see if you're lucky. So Tzidkiyahu was number 30. Therefore, he was already the end of the month. She'az nistam ora shel alvana. The light of the moon was already completely concealed. V'ken nistam ora shel malchut. So the whole malchut was not shining anymore. And then that brought the destruction of Bet HaMikdash. Me'ezrat Hashem will continue the rest tomorrow. At the end, we'll be able to connect what has that got to do with me. But you can already relate with what it's got to do with me. It's very, very simple. This parasha is deep but simple. Listen to what Hashem tells you, then you'll get everything that you need. Don't listen to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, you're going to have a lot of problems. Now what happens is that when I don't listen to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and there is problems, then I arouse all these dinim against me. And the Kadosh Baruch Hu says, listen, you brought it on yourself. I told you already yesterday. You drive 150 miles an hour on the highway, you'll get pulled over. The policeman is doing his job. Don't be upset at the policeman. Just don't drive so fast. The law said, no, you can only drive 80 miles an hour, 70 miles. I'm thinking in kilometers. That's what I'm saying. That it should be 100 kilometers an hour. In America, we drive 150 miles an hour. You're going to end up sleeping a nice night in jail. But nevertheless, if you're not going to be mashed potato on some wall. But nevertheless, I'm thinking in kilometers. Excuse me. But the law says you can only drive 100 kilometers an hour. Go 150. I'm sorry to tell you, the police officer will pull you over. Don't be upset at him, be upset at yourself. So if I go and do all sorts of sins, don't be so upset that Midat Hadin, the judgment, is coming and punishing you. Oh, what do you want? What do you do? Well, you can't keep your mouth shut. You can't control your hands, your eyes, your thoughts. There's going to be a din. So I have to understand what the Torah is telling me very, very simple. Do what I tell you. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, I know you have a Yetzer Hara, but still do what I tell you. Here we're already trying to more explain the idea that a bad animal doesn't go in your land and a sword doesn't go in the land, even a sword of peace. This is all referring to my life. That even if I do things, when I do things that are kosher and good, it shouldn't affect me in any other way. And here we're taking the example of the king. He thought that he's doing okay, but this is already a leader of a nation. We're not yet leaders. I know some people think they are, or some people, they have a dream to be the leader of the Jews. I wouldn't apply myself to this job. It's not such a great job. I feel very bad for Mashiach that he has to deal now with 15, 20 million Jews. I'm not envy of his position. Some people think they have the Mashiach syndrome. Maybe I should be Mashiach. No, you don't want this job. Trust me, this is a headache. Moshe Rabbeinu saw the credentials or the job application. Oh, no. I already retired. I'm 80 years old. Hashem says, no, but I need you to do a job for me. No, I'm stuttering. I have an older brother. I left something on the gas. I don't want to do this job. So Moshe Rabbeinu was smart. He's like, I need this headache. I'm already after retirement. I'm 80 years old. Let me enjoy my goat and my coffee in the morning. Giving me a headache now. Take me to Mitzrayim and deal now with millions of Jews. Who needs this headache? So it's not such a great job to be a leader in Israel, or any type of leader. But nevertheless, we're talking more in my personal life. Very simple, what you want to take from that is that when we do the opposite of what Hashem tells me, you can't complain that you're subject to different attacks, so to say, whether spiritually or physically. And of course, will come the argument, but the Yetzer Hara caused me, pushed me to do it. Well, your job is to fight the Yetzer Hara. Your job is to develop some type of God-fearing that the Yetzer Hara can win maybe once out of 100, but not to let the Yetzer Hara completely party and let him do whatever you want. Yeah, you are required to fight the Yetzer Hara. What do you think? We came here to rest? I came to do a certain job. But nevertheless, Be'ezrat Hashem will continue tomorrow how it's more explaining it more in depth. Be'ezrat Hashem, in the meantime, what we want to take from that is just to follow what the Kadosh Baruch Hu says. Ve'im bechukotai tilechu, if you go in my path, ve'natati gishmechem beitam, I will give you any type of physical blessing that you need. And how I like to look at it, that if something that is not so great comes in my life, it's not that I go right away and complain. I right away look, what did I do wrong? I must have done something wrong that I'm getting now this warning light as a slap into my face. Now if, for whatever reason, after I did my homework and I see that I didn't do anything wrong, or that I can't point my finger, that's how the Talmud says, Eli Yisurim Shel Ahava. The Kadosh Baruch Hu is just sending some good hardship to probably something I did in a previous life, or some debt that I had. The Kadosh Baruch Hu is just removing it from me. But the right approach is, if something wrong happening, maybe I did something. And you know the hint is usually with what comes wrong is that's the department of where chas v'shalom would be a blemish. So if I chas v'shalom get a ticket, I must have done something with money. Maybe I did gezel. Maybe I promised somebody money. Maybe, sometimes people in the shul, they raise their hand, pa'amayim chai, and then they never pay it. This is a neder. You told the shul, I'm going to pay something, and you didn't. This is a neder. Even sometimes you take a tzedakah, a box of charity, and you put in a shekel, a dollar, whatever it is. If the charity box has a name on it, you're not allowed to take that shekel out and give it somewhere else. Because the second that I put a coin in this box, and this box has a name on it, that's it. First of all, it's not my coin anymore, and I made an eder. I'm giving you a shekel. I will pay you in a month when the box is full. But I took an oath, a vow. This is yours. Can't come and now start playing with the money. Here and there you need to change coins. That's not a problem. But once you made a vow, then that's it. So sometimes I will get a slap from this side with money. The boiler explodes, whatever. I have to look, wait a minute, maybe I owe somebody money. It can be a cent that I owe somebody. I did some type of gezel. I took money without permission. I owe somebody money. I promised somebody money. Whatever it is. So the hint will come in the same department where I did the blemish. And again, if you made a whole thorough check and nothing comes up, okay, so the Kadosh Baruch Hu is testing me in one way or another, or this is just what our sages call Yisurim Shel Ahava, hardship of love. The Kadosh Baruch Hu likes putting us through hardship to remove some dirt, to polish the neshama. Be'ezrat Hashem will continue tomorrow. Hopefully we'll learn a little bit of Yirat Shamayim, that we can love Hashem better, fear Hashem better, and obviously do what He wants us to do. And then we get all these great blessings. ונתתי גשמכם בעיתם. רבי חנניה בן הקשה אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל, לפיכך הרבה להם תורה ומצוות, שנאמר, אדוני חפץ למען צדקו, הגדיל תורה וידע.